Hey everyone, it's Megan from Bookish Delights. And this video is my merch wrap-up. I wanted to do this earlier in the month of April, but I planned other things instead, and I'm just finally getting around to it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I am going to start off with the audiobooks. I think there is a total of 12 books, I want to say, that I have read in the month of March, and that is including 4 graphic novels. So the first book is Year One by Nora Roberts. This is the first Nora Roberts book I've read, and it's also the first book in the Chronicles of One series, and I gave this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I believe it's an urban fantasy, I want to say. So it starts on New Year's Eve when there's something small that sets off a bigger catastrophe over time. So half the population is gone, governments are losing control, and there's also like magic of some sort, and it follows along a few different characters, a few different perspectives, and it just follows along their journey to survival. It's basically the end of the world as we know it, and there's like plenty of twists and turns, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get my hands on the second book and read that. Hey, it's Editing Megan here, and I just wanted to say that the next book that I'm about to say is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and for some reason my camera, the audio of it didn't pick up what I was saying and kind of mashed it together. So I just want you to know that I do know how to say it properly, just for some reason the audio kind of got a little contorted and distorted and just whatnot, so just had to let you guys know. So the next audiobook I listened to was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. I also gave this 5 stars. This so far is my favorite Harry Potter book, and I have not read like the whole series before. This is my first time reading through the series or listening to the audiobooks, and I just find it's more entertaining to listen to the audiobooks. So this is set in Harry's 3rd year at Hogwarts, and it is filled with new adventures. A convicted murderer, Sirius Black, has escaped from the Azkaban prison and of course is on the search for Harry Potter. And this is the 3rd book in the Harry Potter series, and like I said, by far so far this is my favorite book in the series. The next audiobook I listened to was Love, Rosie by Cecilia Ahern, and this I gave 4 stars. Essentially it's 2 people who are meant to be together, but they just can't seem to get it right. And they have been best friends since childhood, but everything changes when one of the main characters, Alex, it's centered around Rosie and Alex's relationship, but it changes when Alex gets news that he and his family will be leaving Dublin to move to Boston. And Rosie and Alex do have a plan put together that they will be attending colleges in the US so they can be together, but everything changes when Rosie finds out that she ends up being pregnant from a guy who she used as kind of like a rebound from Alex. So that kills their plan. So essentially it follows along through like emails, phone calls, and messages and other stuff like that, and their growing relationship and how it's always the wrong time for them, and it just evolves over time like that. So those were the audiobooks. Now let's get into the physical books I read. So I read 4 graphic novels this month, and they're all part of the Saga series. This is Saga volume 3, 4, 5, and 6. Volume 4 is probably my least favorite cover so far. I don't know, it just doesn't flow. It doesn't flow with the other covers. It don't really match. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and then the artist Fiona Staples. So this is told in the point of view of the child of... So these are the parents of the child, and it follows along their child's point of view, and there's like war. It's essentially like a forbidden love story, and it's just one thing after another for this family, and they're trying to stay out of sight and stay hidden, but that doesn't always work out. A lot going on for this family. It is a fantastic graphic novel series. I love it and I can't wait to continue on. Then the next book is The Outsiders. I gave this book 5 stars. This is a reread. This is by S.E. Hinton, and it follows along Ponyboy Curtis, who is a 14-year-old teenager, and he is what you would call a greaser. There's 2 main gangs in this essentially, and it is the greasers or the socials, or socks for short, and the socials are like the more rich folk, whereas the greasers are more like the outsiders. That was not intentional. So this is a span of roughly 2 weeks in Ponyboy's life. It shows his struggles of right and wrong and trying to figure out what to do next. The next book is This Is the Life by Alex Shearer. I initially gave this a 4-star, but then I bumped it down to a 3-star. When I first read it, I quite enjoyed it. Or not quite, I liked it, I did enjoy it. But after I had some time to process it and think about the book itself, I realized that it wasn't, it's not the worst book, but it also wasn't like my favorite book. So it kind of hit in between. So this is how 2 estranged brothers came together when one brother, Louis, discovers that he has a brain tumor, and the other brother becomes Louis' caregiver. So it jumps from past and present, and it's all in the brother's point of view, and his name actually isn't said, and that kind of bothers me. I would like to know the narrator's name, but you can't always win. So the brother is recalling all of his memories of his brother, like the good times, the bad times, and it just follows along his journey into taking care of his brother. And then we have Winger by Andrew Smith. This I gave 3 stars, and this is the first book in the Winger duology, and I think the second book is called Standoff. I almost DNF'd this book, but I kept going through it because I was already like so far into it, and I'm reading books for book battle, and I don't like DNFing books. But this follows on the main character of Ryan Dean West. He is a 14-year-old teenager going to a boarding school, and it just follows along his journey going through the school year. He lives in the dorm room opportunity hall, which is for troublemakers, and his roommate is like one of the biggest bullies in the school, and he's also a rugby player. So it just follows along his like fallouts of relationships and friendships and new friendships, basically like a teen's experience in school. What I did like about this book though is that it had like little comics in here, like little sketches. Of course I say that and I can't find one. So yeah, throughout the book there's little drawings and little sketches and some comic strips. And then the last book we have is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is definitely my favorite series currently. This is a trilogy. I have the 3rd book finale on pre-order and I can't wait to get it. This is the 2nd book. The first one is Caraval, and I gave this 5 stars. This one follows along Donatella Dragna, and it starts like right at the end of Caraval, so it picks right up after the first book. And usually the way it is, like Caraval only happens, the game only happens like once a year or something like it doesn't happen very often. But there is a special occasion where Legend decides to put on another show soon after the first one. And as I said, it is in Donatella's perspective, whereas the first one was in Scarlet's perspective. And this book is Tella searching for answers and searching for Legend's true identity, because she has made a dangerous bargain with a mysterious criminal. There's a lot of different plot twists, and there's more magic, heartbreak, and love stories, and it's an amazing read. I would recommend anyone to read this trilogy. I've been trying to get my mom to read it, even though I know she doesn't like this genre, but it's so good and I think she would like it, and I think just about anyone will like this. So that is a total of 11 books read in March, which is really good for me. Just reading any book in a month is good for me. So I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or any other video ideas you would like to see, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.